It's Tuesday, May the 30th, 2017, and this is your Barbados Today afternoon update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. We begin with news that Barbados is in line for a Chinese tourist boost. Addressing a joint Barbados-China cocktail reception and photo exhibition at Hilton Barbados last night to observe the 40th anniversary of diplomatic ties between both countries, Minister of Tourism Richard Seeley said the introduction of a visa waiver on Thursday will start an influx of Chinese tourists.
We only get about 600 Chinese coming to Barbados a year, and we think that coming out of this visa waiver agreement, we can move that number to about 2,500 in short time, and the 2,500 can move to 5,000, and the 5,000 can then move on from there, to the point when the People's Republic of China becomes a legitimate source for tourists for this country. It can happen. We have the vision for it as a government. We have the vision for it at tourism. And again, everything starts with a small step.
Chinese ambassador to Barbados, Wang Kiao, assured the island that her government would back the Sam Lors Castle redevelopment project to the end, with this country standing to benefit from other economic initiatives.
We will work together to ensure a smooth carry-out of Sam Lors Castle project. Chinese financial institutions and enterprises remain committed to exploring more cooperation in infrastructure projects in Barbados. We also should fully take the advantage of China's grants to support local agricultural infrastructure projects and extend our bilateral collaboration to experiences sharing and technologies transfer in agriculture sector. With only 3 days, that is June the 1st, the agreement on visa waiver for ordinary passport holders will come into effect, which opens new prospects for our tourism cooperation. I wish, by our joint efforts of promoting Barbados as a tourist attraction, this country will benefit from Chinese tourist boom.
New General Manager of the Barbados Water Authority, Keith Roy Halliday, warns that the state-run entity may not survive the foreseeable future on its present financial course. He has already placed a temporary ban on hiring and is now recommending a 25% hike in water rates and sending home more than 200 workers. But Chairman of the Board, Dr. Atlee Brathwaite, is rejecting the General Manager's proposals, describing them as medicine that's too strong for our government-owned entity. The new General Manager is proposing an increase in water rates to generate a minimum of an additional $2.5 million monthly or $30 million annually. If Halliday gets his way, customers will have their water bills go up by 25% under one of 4 methods of calculating a rate hike. He's proposing that commercial customers who are currently charged a rate of $4.66 per cubic meter, once the calculated charge exceeds $32, should now have to fork out $5.83 per cubic meter. Halliday said a preliminary analysis suggests that the BWA should pursue having all customers pay a basic connection service charge. More than 200 workers will also be placed on the breadline as part of the Water Authority's top executive cost-cutting strategy through restructuring and early retirement packages. He's recommending a reduction in overtime costs by 50% and the introduction of 4-day work weeks and the part-time employment where possible. Halliday has already placed a freeze on hiring. In a swift response, Authority Chairman Dr. Atlee Brathwaite rejected what he said are the drastic measures of the new General Manager.
I would not fully support such stringent matters at this stage. I will see what I will support is to see to what extent we can enhance productivity. Okay, we need to enhance productivity, and it may be that the trying to employ a 24-hour service could possibly enhance productivity. What we would need to do also manage any overtime that we have to, shall I say, implement, because we cannot get away from overtime given the fact that we do not have a 24-hour service. But certainly, I will find it extremely difficult to take that strong medicine at this stage.
Barbadians are counting down the hours to this afternoon's financial statement and budgetary proposals being delivered at 4 o'clock by Minister of Finance Chris Sinclair. With the country facing serious economic challenges and general elections due over the next year, the business community is appealing to Sinclair to leave out any electioneering and focus on problem solving. Some of the most popular and larger bands are boycotting 4-Day Morning this year, contending that while the event has been growing, it was not evolving to accommodate this growth. 47 bands have registered with the National Cultural Foundation for the street party, but noticeably absent are Island Fusion, Rheumatology, and Collision Entertainment, all of which expressed displeasure with the lack of changes regarding the event. Director of Media and Public Relations for Island Fusion, Shade Jemet, told Barbados Today the band chose to stay away this year in order to give its clientele value for money.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Good morning, Phillips & Company, may I help? Oh, certainly. One moment, please. Miss Phillips?
Yeah?
There's a lady on the line from the Nation newspaper who would like to speak with you.
The Nation? Will she go on?
Well, they're trying to sell us some ads.
Look, don't make me laugh this morning. Ads in the Nation? They're real expensive, and for one year, nobody ain't buying them papers no more. Nobody want to steal news. I hear reading Barbados Today online for free. So I tell she thanks for calling, but no thanks. We just advertising Barbados Today, families. Tell she is Barbados Today all the way.
Okay, I'll pass on the message. Ma'am, are you still there? Oh, she put down.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
We're back with news from the region now. The Government Information Services Limited is being shut down. In breaking the news to employees of the state-owned media company, Minister Maxie Coffey said that it had become a financial burden on the government. Kijan Hines reports.
TV6 News understands Minister Maxie Coffey showed up at the GISL compound on Monday unannounced, and he called a staff meeting where he revealed that by next fiscal year, GISL will not exist. The minister confirmed the news to TV6 News this afternoon. He said GISL is $19 million in the red and costs $14 million to run annually.
I met with the staff of GISL to inform them that the decision has been taken to wind up the company, given its history of losses and the fact that the government can no longer sustain the losses that have been occurring.
A staff member who was at the meeting says the news was not unexpected to them. There had been several staff cuts over the last 12 months, and management continued to be told they needed to cut more. The staff member said some of them were actually relieved that they were no longer stuck in limbo.
And on the international scene, Russian government officials discussed having potentially derogatory information about then presidential candidate Donald Trump and some of his top aides in conversations intercepted by U.S. intelligence during the 2016 election. More in this CNN report.
Two former intelligence officials and a congressional source tell my colleagues Pamela, Dana, and I that Russian government officials discuss having potentially derogatory information about then presidential candidate Donald Trump and some of his top aides. This in conversations intercepted by U.S. intelligence during the 2016 election. One source described the information as financial in nature. It said the discussion centered around whether the Russians had leverage with Trump's inner circle. The source says the intercepted communication suggested to U.S. intelligence that Russians believe they had the ability to influence the administration through the derogatory information. Now, I should add the sources privy to the descriptions of the communications written by U.S. intelligence cautioned that the Russian claims to each other could have been exaggerated or even made up. The details of the communication shed new light on information U.S. intelligence received about Russian claims of influence. The contents of the conversations made clear to U.S. officials that Russia was considering ways to influence the election, even if their claims turned out to be false.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, our screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.